Welcome back to Tales from the Dark Dossier, and to the third installment of our saga, Dark Wars. Last we saw, Dracula had done the unthinkable, absorbing the immense power of the general. Now, surging with cosmic energy, he wasn't just a creature of the night, he was a god in the making. The general's knowledge flooded his mind, a tapestry of conquered worlds and forgotten pathways. Among them, one map glowed with a sinister light, a world the general had marked but never dared to enter. Driven by his insatiable ambition, Dracula tore open a rift in reality, a shimmering portal crackling with raw power, and stepped through. He emerged into a desolate landscape under a bruised, twilight sky. The air was thick with grit, and the ground crunched under his boots like powdered bone. Jagged peaks that once touched the clouds were now crumbling, turning to rivers of fine gray dust that flowed across the barren plains. This was the domain of a being known only as the Dissolver. It wasn't a creature of flesh or blood, but an entity of pure entropic force, an elemental horror whose very presence unmade the world around it. It possessed the terrifying ability to turn mountains into dust with but a thought. Dracula watched from a concealed ridge as the Dissolver, a swirling vortex of shadow and shimmering sand, glided over a colossal mountain range. The stone behemoths groaned, then simply unraveled. They collapsed into silent avalanches of dust, a testament to the Dissolver's absolute power. A lesser being would have fled, but Dracula saw not an obstacle, but an opportunity, a power to be claimed. He knew a direct confrontation would be foolish. The Dissolver wasn't something you could fight. It was a fundamental force you had to outsmart. Drawing upon the general's absorbed intellect, Dracula began to analyze the entity. He observed how the energy flowed, how it interacted with the environment. He noticed a pattern. The Dissolver's power was chaotic, but it had a focal point, a core that pulsed with a rhythm, like a dark, cosmic heartbeat. The weakness wasn't a physical spot to strike, but a frequency, a specific vibration that could disrupt its very essence. Dracula, now a master of energy manipulation thanks to the general's gift, began to resonate with his own power. He didn't launch an attack. Instead, he began to hum, a low, guttural vibration that started in his chest and spread through the very ground. He focused his newfound abilities, shaping the energy into a counter-frequency, a precise wave designed to clash with the Dissolver's core. The entity paused. The storm of dust around it faltered. It sensed the dissonant note in its symphony of destruction. It turned its non-existent gaze towards Dracula, a wave of pure decay rushing towards him. But Dracula held his ground. He amplified the frequency, pouring more of the general's power into the vibrational assault. The world shook. The air crackled. The Dissolver shrieked, a sound that was not a sound, but a psychic scream of tearing fabric. Its form began to flicker and destabilize. The chaotic energy that held it together was being ripped apart from within. With a final, explosive effort, Dracula pushed the frequency to its absolute limit. The Dissolver imploded, collapsing into a single, silent point of light before vanishing, leaving behind only the dust of the mountains it had unmade. Standing in the eerie silence, Dracula felt the residual energy of the Dissolver coalesce and flow into him. Another power added to his growing arsenal. The ability to unmake, to turn creation to dust, was now his. He closed his eyes, savoring the victory. But his ambition was a fire that could never be quenched. As he opened them, the general's star charts materialized in his mind's eye once more. His gaze locked onto the next target, a realm of legend, a paradise for fallen warriors. His next conquest. His sights were now set on Valhalla. The Dark Wars have only just begun. What awaits Dracula in the halls of heroes? Join us next time to find out. Thank you for listening to Tales from the Dark Dossier. If you enjoyed this dark tale, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Until then, stay curious.